All right, guys, we're here on Kulos Ravine. You just witnessed one of the craziest games I've ever had the pleasure of casting on Desert Oasis. HuK is now up 3-0 over QXC, and we're going into Kulos Ravine, a very, very technical map. I did have the mode set on 2v2, I think, right there. Hopefully not going to be too much of a
Oh,
problem, but I don't think it doesn't change spawning points, I don't think. We should be
it
okay.
does. Whoa! Oh, no, I guess you didn't have it set on 2 versus 2 because it's impossible to spawn in these positions then. We do have QXC spawning as the purple Terran in the bottom right, and we have HuK spawning as the green Protoss in the top right. Now, QXC, I genuinely, sincerely think that he had that last game won. Not at the state, where they did the big base trade, but right before then when he had all those Marines and he did so much pressure with those Reapers, I thought he was in great shape. But HuK just had beautiful unit movement, attacked at all the right times, and kept retreating and re-expanding to newer locations instead of taking his old main back. I just think it was some excellent decision making by HuK. And here comes QXC's trademark Kulos Ravine play, the 9 barracks followed by a 9 depot. He is Marauder rushing, I guarantee it.
All right, so we did have a little bit of a break in between the last game and this game. So QXC had a little bit of time to possibly collect himself and kind of calm down his emotions. So we'll see how he plays this match now, being down 3-0 to HuK, or 0-3, I guess I should say. HuK is sending out that probe to scout. He is going to be scouting this Rex. He possibly does know the strategy from QXC, and we still see no gateway right now at 13 supply from HuK. Here comes the gateway now, coming down a little bit late, but it shouldn't matter too much. We'll have to see just how much pressure QXC could put on right here.
Yeah, I suppose I did misrepresent QXC a little bit. He's just told me several times he hates losing, but in the last game, I just made it sound like QXC was a giant grizzly bear every time he lost. And this is one thing that's so brilliant about QXC's play with Marauders on this map. The fact that he gets that barracks on 9 and then the refinery on 9 means that he has enough money to get an orbital command before he gets a depot because he still has 2 food left. But that probe by HuK is being so annoying, QXC having to send out 2 workers to track down this new base by HuK. And we see that gateway isn't even done yet, and the Marauder has already been started. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to see that concussive shell. There it goes down now. Going to be very, very difficult for HuK to hold this off.
HuK did buy himself a little bit of time there, making that or using that probe to block that tech lab a little bit, but we'll have to see if he bought himself enough time. There comes the first Marauder. QXC is actually losing a little bit more time as he's HuK is microing this probe there in the back of the base with that Marauder taking it out right now. Wow, a little bit of a shield recharge, making it take 2 more hits. And now we do have a Zealot out from HuK. We do see him chrono boosting that second one there with his cybernetics core about to warp in right now. So we'll have to see just what QXC decides to do right here as concussive shell is about to finish right about now.
That first probe did, like, I think, way more damage than this build can actually handle. Ordinarily, you really just want one SCV doing the scouting, one SCV building, and everything else mining. The fact that just one SCV was pulled off mining to block that probe damages this opening so much by QXC. He is charging in there with that first Marauder, and it's going to be all up to QXC's brilliant control. I have tried this style several times, but I do not nearly have the same good control that QXC does. And here comes his Marauder. He's going to micro it. He's going to try to shoot that Zealot, but with a second Zealot out, it's going to be a little tough. But look at the way he alternates between the 2 Zealots to buy himself as much time as possible. And now with 2 Marauders, look at this. One Zealot is going to go down for free. And see, he's trying to target that Stalker, trying to bring its health down. And now he's microing, shooting each Zealot independently. Brilliant. Now he's going to dart forward and try to pick off this Stalker. The Stalker goes down, but not before QXC loses 1 Marauder. But now with 2 Marauders out, both of those Zealots run the risk of getting killed. And look at this with that delayed Marauder. Oh my god, he's going to take out both Zealots. Oh my god, HuK is in a really difficult spot now.
He does have a sentry spawning of all units right there. Probably the least likely unit you want to be spawning right there. Here comes those Marauders. They're taking down that gateway, his only unit producing structure. He's going to be warping that into a gateway. We're going to definitely see that finish before it is going to die. So we're going to possibly see some, let's see what he decides to warp in. He does warp in a Zealot. Doesn't really wondering why he didn't warp in some Stalkers right there. I guess they died too quick to Marauders. But now he has 3 Marauders there, opting to force field there. And that's proven me wrong and shutting me up. Definitely telling me why he decided to warp in those units right there. He does lose 2 Marauders, but while that 1 Marauder is still alive, as only the probes are hitting him. But QXC is still putting on the aggression here with that one Rax. It looks like he does have that other one about to finish right now, and he's about to be depot capped as that other depot looks like it's about to finish. But now HuK just has 3 gates up and just too many units for QXC to handle right now, so he's going to be pulling back.
Interestingly, both of them are equal in terms of the worker count. I mean, HuK does have this advantage that he already has 3 warp gates down, but I mean, we are seeing a lot more Marauders being constructed, more tech labs going down by QXC. He's well known for his excellent Marauder control. And with that second refinery now finished, QXC has the option of starting to research STIM, which makes the Marauders even scarier. But oh no, how wrong I am. We see a Ghost Academy finishing. He is building a Ghost out of that second barracks. This works great versus mass warp gate style because really, if you get 3 warp gates, you have to build a lot of sentries because it's just too costly to build the other units. And a few EMPs, and you are just way in the lead. QXC has to be very careful, though.
There was an SCV trying to dart in and try to get a little bit more intel on the Protoss player HuK, but it was quickly shut down by all of those sentries and those stalkers from range. Now we have 2 racks there with also a ghost now being out. It's going to be charging up that energy. He needs 75 to use that EMP round, now sitting at about 58. Going back into the main of QXC, he does pretty much just getting his depots up. Really no other unit producing structures. But here comes the units of HuK there, and it is going to be scouted there with that SCV on that Zelnaga watchtower. He does see all of the units coming forward. Looks like a really sentry heavy build, and QXC's building placement might come back to kind of hurt him right here as those racks are there at the front of the base and it's making his choke that much more smaller.
But I mean, this Ghost is at 79 energy, 80 energy. Uh-oh, look at how clustered all those sentries are. Just one single EMP, and there are no force fields at all to worry about. So he runs up. Uh-oh, looks like one Marauder being a little bit dumb and just kind of running up and doing his own thing. It looks like he target fired him. He just executed him. HuK doing the good old raffle. QXC just happily killing his own units. But QXC now moving that barracks and now has that Ghost in front. This is one of the nice things about Kulos Ravine. He is happily pulling back, killing off these destructible rocks. And oh no, HuK killing off the destructible rocks as well. Looks like QXC has experienced this before. And with that Ghost, he really absolutely needs to get a brilliant EMP off. And if he does, it's going to be lights out for HuK. His 3-gate aggression will be completely denied, and we can see HuK at 100 energy on his Nexus. That's a really big problem. And uh-oh, this SCV is going to get there just in time to see all these units, and oh god, I don't know if QXC can get his Ghost in the correct position in time.
We'll just have to see what happens. Is probably a fight that's going to decide a lot of the game right here is about to occur. QXC is opting to pull back, letting HuK kind of come back down into his base. That Ghost is going to be in the middle. We'll have to see what comes up. Get ready. Oh, wow, some great force fields there from HuK. Wow, so many force fields. The Ghost can't even get into EMP. Actually, it might have EMP'd right there. It did. It took down a lot of shields, but a little bit too late there as all those sentries were able to get their force fields out. But here, look at this great play from QXC, bringing in those SCVs. Probably going to be able to take down this fight right now.
And it looks like, oh no, just a few too many units for HuK. He's really getting in there. He does another great EMP on the Stalkers. He is going to be able to just barely kill off these last few Stalkers, but the problem is the next round, QXC has 1 SCV mining and 1 Mule, embarrassed, heads back home to try to mine up a little bit. That attack by HuK was perfect. The fact that QXC killed off those destructible rocks just did not give him enough time to set up whatsoever. So now this is the last-ditch attack by QXC. Those 2 extra barracks that he did make are going to be completely useless. QXC doesn't even look like he's getting ready to make any more SCVs. There's the stim going off. He is darting up to kill off these stalkers. Some nice micro might be able to stay in this fight a little bit longer, but still it's going to be tough with exactly 0 workers.
One thing to note is that HuK did have his Nexus at 100 energy for quite some time. He did end up using it on those 3 gateways as well as his Nexus. But look at this unit control from QXC. His units are so low, and he's just been microing them so well. They're taking out so many more units than what he actually has. He's buying himself some time here, pulling those units as far into HuK's base, trying to buy as much time for him to get up some some SCVs. And there's QXC, knowing that he really can't build that many more SCVs or just get up an economy, really, is that attack from HuK was just so huge. So there you guys have it. HuK defeating QXC 4-0. And Sean, do you have anything else to say really quickly here before we wrap it up?
I mean, those two unfortunate but blunders by QXC in the last two games really cost him. The fact that all his units were out of position in that most recent game, that he couldn't get one of those brilliant EMPs off to save him, and the fact that in the third game he just seemed to get a little bit shaken when he really pulled the lead off. And I really think the fact that QXC was down 0-3 severely affected his mental state in Game 4, and that was the main reason he lost.
All right, guys, there you have it. HuK defeating QXC 4-0 now in week 11, I think, maybe week 10 of the MLG Showcase series.